Hello YouTube world, it is Liam with part 2 of my top 40 metal albums of the year. I've been in the garden, hence why the hat is still on because my ears are cold. So yeah, kicking off with number 30 in this list is the mighty Xibalba with Anos en Inferno, I think it's pronounced. This came out in May, and yeah, really good. It's like hardcore, death metal, loads of doom in this one. I mean, I discovered this band purely on the artwork. I saw this and I was like, fuck yeah, I want a piece of that. Looks like my kind of thing. Had a little listen on Spotify and I was all over it. But previous albums, they sound like a thrash band almost, with hardcore influences in there as well. But this one's certainly got the doom, especially in like the last track. It's some really nice melodic, slow lead work from these guys. This came out through Southern Lord Records, and worth checking out if you haven't heard this because it is very heavy. And yeah, they bring the the big riffs, which I love in my music. Number 29 was a band that I discovered through I think the YouTube channel's Vital Vlog or something like that. Usually when I watch his videos, I spend money, which is dangerous because he always shows stuff I really like. And this was one of them I checked out, and it took a couple listens to get into, but I'm really enjoying it now. And that is Worm with Gloomlord. This came out in January this year. Obviously this year, I keep saying that. One man project, but there's two dudes. But the main guy is Phantom Slaughter, I believe, who's the main dude behind all this. This kind of reminded me of Esoteric a lot when I first heard it. It's definitely got that kind of funeral doom, very cavernous sounding, very empty space, but it's got that black metal tinge to it because I believe they used to do a lot more black metal in their music before they kind of went over to the funeral doom side of things. And yeah, it goes all over the place. There's some weird synths noises in there I hear. It's very drawn out, but then the solos are very technical. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Very unique sounding album, especially this year when you've got so many bands putting out very similar album styles. But these guys do stand out quite a fair bit. So that's Worm. And number 28 was a self-release, because I do like to include these. You've got the big bands, but you've also got the bands that are unassigned. And this is Ashes of Life. This came out in February. It's like, I guess it's obviously doom metal, but with like a Catatonia vibe to it. So it's got that very atmospheric lead work, brilliant singing vocals from Tiago, who masterminds the whole project, and he's got Stefan Nordstrom, who does Soliloquim, I think is his solo project. He's also in Desolator, I think it's called, the Swedish death metal band. He does all the guttural vocals on this. And yeah, the blend of the two is really nice. You've got really nice clean vocals, really atmospheric songs, really nice beautiful clean leads, acoustic-y kind of lead work as well in there, which is really nice. And then they crush you with a really heavy guitar work, but it's all done to like an atmospheric kind of style, so not pummeling in your face, more chilled out, and you kind of absorb it as you listen to it. So definitely worth checking out if you haven't heard this album before. So that's Ashes of Life. Number 27 was a monster of an album, but the only reason I put it at this number is just purely because the band are so consistent with their sound. They don't really change it up. So albums ahead of this are ones that I think sound musically more interesting, but I still love this album to death. And that's Solothus with Realm of Ash and Blood. This came out in March for a $20 spin. And yeah, absolute monster of a band. Finished death doom done right. Think Hooded Menace, but a bit more cavernous, melodic. And yeah, you get Solothus. That all their albums are very similar. You could pick any one of their albums and you kind of know what you're going to get. Production wise also is very similar. But this one I really enjoy. Really brutal, really heavy, slow, stompy, and really miserable lead work on this. And the cover's awesome as well. So that's Solothus. Number 26 was a new band I discovered this year, and I'm really glad I did because they're fucking awesome. Germany's Nekrovault with, I'm going to butcher this, Totenzug, Festering, Peregrination. This came out on Van Records in March, and yeah, really good, blackened, death, doomy, sludgy, dark, atmospheric, all those kind of genres kind of thrown into this. They give a very strong, like Morbid Angel kind of guitar tone on this as well, which I really like that kind of domination kind of sound. And yeah, it's just brutal. Really, really good album. Not many people have been speaking about this year. I fucking love it. It's really, really good. Really heavy, cavernous sounding. It's just a really nasty, dark album, but also very memorable and very catchy, which some bands, fail to do when they do this kind of style. So definitely an album worth checking out. That's Nekrovault. Number 25 was also another new band for me this year. I believe these guys are based in New York. I guess they're kind of death doom, but kind of got a funeral kind of touch to it. And that's Funeral Leech with Death Meditation. This came out in April through Carbonized Records, and yeah, really, really cool. Brutal, death doom, really slow, stompy, atmospheric. But then it gets really fast and nasty in certain sections, and yeah, they bring the brutality on this. And I really love the artwork, really fits the music, and it's got a really nice, I might as well show you it, a really nice vinyl variant as well when I got this, which was really cool. Yeah, brilliant, brilliant band. I'm really looking forward to seeing what these guys do next. So I really like the look of that. Very, very cool. So that's Funeral Leech at number 25. Now, this one might surprise a few people because they probably would assume I put it higher, but I'm not. Number 24 is Paradise Lost with Obsidian. Now, this came out in May. If you're wondering why I keep looking that way, it's because my list is there with all the dates. But yeah, it came out in May through Nuclear Blast, and I really enjoy this album. Musically, it's brilliant, but it isn't anything new to what they've done before. What they've done here is they kind of combine everything about the band and kind of put it all on one record. So you've got the death doom kind of stuff, the melodic kind of poppy kind of sound they did like mid-tier albums. Then you've got that kind of Draconian Times kind of vibe going on here as well. And you get like a whole, musically a whole big project. A lot of people have put this in the top 10. But for me, musically, it's not, for me, Paradise Lost to me is like Shades of God, Draconian Times, and then anything before that. Obviously latter albums, they brought the heavy stuff back and I really like that. But this one for me is it's a bit all over the place style-wise, and even though I really enjoy it, I wouldn't play it constantly. It's one of those albums I kind of go back to now and again to appreciate it. I can't just listen to it and listen to it and listen to it and still enjoy it. So yeah, Paradise Lost. Number 23, another one I haven't seen anyone talk about at all since I started doing the YouTube thing, which surprised me, and that is Greece's On Thorns I Lay with their new album Threnos, which came out in February. Death doom, very much in the style of Paradise Lost, My Dying Bride, those kind of bands. You can tell they're heavily inspired by them. But because they're Greek, they've got that kind of signature Greek style thrown in there with the theme of the album as well. They've put that musically into it. So you kind of got that ancient Greek kind of sound going on between the songs. It's very melodic, very epic. There's violins, all that kind of thing, female vocals. The growls are really good on this as well, which I really like. They have an album before this that was very similar in style, but before that, they went kind of changed style completely, and I lost interest in this band completely because very, very early stuff was very heavy, death doom, like kind of like My Dying Bride, and then they went completely in a different direction. But then since the last two albums, including this one, is very much a return to the old style, and I really, really like it. Very heavy. This was I think mastered by Dan Swano as well. So yeah, awesome band. So go check that one out, On Thorns I Lay. And then the last two I've put together because one's an EP and one's an album, but they are from the same band. You can probably guess who it is already. So at 22 we have My Dying Bride's Macabre Cabaret EP. This came out in November. Love this EP. It's a really cool EP. The story behind it is basically they had too many songs and the record label said, your album's too long. Can we make an EP out of it? And they went, okay, you pick what you want. So the label, I believe, picked the tracks for this EP. And you got some like Macabre Cabaret, Secret Kiss, A Purse of Golden Stars, and then there's a B-side bonus track of Orchestral Shores, but it's all done orchestrally. So Broken Shore from the main album which was probably the most popular track off that album, is done via an orchestra on this one. There's no heavy guitars on that track, and it's really nice. But yeah, a really, really cool EP. You don't get too many EPs with a full gatefold with different artworks on each page, and it really, really pops. Really like this EP. So yeah, My Dying Bride's my Macabre Cabaret, and then at number 21, as you've already guessed, is My Dying Bride's Ghost of Orion. This came out in March. And it's a unique album in a way, because you listen to the circumstances behind it, you can appreciate it a lot more. So with Aaron the singer going through his daughter having cancer and all that kind of thing, realistically in real life you just tell music and all that to fuck off. Family comes first, all that kind of thing. But obviously you've still got the band on hiatus wanting to make music, and they've obviously recorded and done all this stuff in the background while he's been away, and he's come back, added his vocals to it. And as a band you can do that, but it's a lot easier to write as one whole unit, for me anyway. And I found that with my guys, when we do an album, you know, we all put our hands into it. It's not just one person doing all the writing, we all contribute. And you can kind of hear that in this album. There's some empty songs. Broken Shore is a brilliant track. What's the other one? The Old Earth I really like. But Tired of Tears is obviously about his daughter and his, you know, and how he went through all that situation. And it's just brutal. And as a father, you know, I can really relate to those lyrics. And you listen to it and you think, fucking hell, I would not want to be in that situation. So that kind of gives it more of a, you know, of a spin on the album. You can appreciate it emotionally more. I mean, musically, yes, a lot of people will say it's not that great, it's a bit boring. I kind of get that. I mean, I'm a big My Dying Bride fan anyway, so I'm going to be a bit biased. But if you look at the backstory and the process behind it, you'll obviously appreciate it a lot more. And the album cover is fucking awesome. One of my favourites from this year, hands down. I mean, there's been some amazing album artworks, and I could easily do a video about that, but that really stands out to me, and I really like that. So yeah, My Dying Bride, number 21. So obviously part 3 will have to come with my next 10. So obviously look out for that. Thank you for watching if you watched the previous one as well. If you're a non-subscriber, please subscribe. I've lost 2 since doing the last video, but it went up by 3, so fuck knows what's going on there. Obviously, you know, everyone's got a different opinion, so let me know in the comments below. Take care, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Cheers.